Shalom, my friends. Shalom, everyone. This is your old pal, Rabbi Sol Solomon, founder and spiritual leader of Temple Sons of Bitches in Great Neck, New York. And oh boy, we have a guest. We have a guest in the neighborhood who's going to be talking to us, who makes hats that even go beyond my special Yom Kippur hat. Ladies and gentlemen, we have with us a performer, an actress, and also, I don't know if the word is haberdasher or haberdasherette, or if that's not even the right word for a milliner. What are you? Who are you and what are you? This is Mindy Fradkin, by the way. Shalom. What do you call yourself there?
Let's see. Well, I'm a milliner,
Milliner. Yeah.
performer, comedian, a woman of many hats.
A woman. And that's a beautiful. You made the hat that you are wearing. Is that correct?
Actually, actually, I didn't.
Whoops. Well.
No, I usually do. It's funny, but this hat was given to me. There's occasionally people give me hats, or I have a vintage hat. Actually, I'm not wearing this hat. I'm wearing this hat that is not mine. This is unusual. I could get one.
It's pretty. Well, no, you probably do, because we want to show what you do as an artist, as a creator.
Yeah, I will. Okay. All right.
If you have a couple near you, you can show what you're.
Yeah, I do actually. Okay, hold it. It was just a matter of coordinating with my outfit.
Okay, so by the way, Mindy Fradkin, performance artist, her solo show Ageless Wonders is going to be at the Phoenicia Festival of the Arts in Phoenicia.
No, Ageless Wonders, that was my other show. No, I'm not doing that one. No, that was my first. That was one of my shows. No, my show I'm currently doing is Princess Wow in Woodstock, How a Hat Designer Started a Revolution.
There you go. Princess Wow in Woodstock, How a Hat Designer Started a Revolution. That's being done on August 9th at the Phoenicia Festival of the Arts in New York. So that's one of your... Now, what did you make that out of? It's hard for me. Is that a...
Okay, this is... Okay. Yeah. Okay, this one is straw, and I hand painted it. It's like hand blocked, and then I'm kind of like an artist who makes hats, more of like a sculptured. It's a sculptured piece.
Okay.
But I'm a trained milliner. I went to FIT at night years ago. But anyway, no, but I'm really an artist who makes hats. Okay, so this is like hand painted.
Cool. Hand sculpted.
Huh?
Do you have one other example?
Yeah. I'll show you another hat. It's just a matter of, it was about what go. Well, actually, I'm wearing a gold vintage 60s dress. So
there you go. There's the hat that we see in a lot of the photographs and a lot of the...
All right, so this hat, hold it one second. Wait, I'm going to wear it this way. There, here we go. Okay, now this hat, this is a tie, and this is my father's tie from the 70s.
Okay, yeah.
So yeah, and I always love this tie. So I guess I'll wear this. It'll go with a gold outfit.
Now, is there any way you can just angle the camera a little bit more, because like your chin keeps hitting the bottom of the thing?
I can't really see myself is the thing. I don't really see myself.
Okay. So you need to. You have way too much headroom.
I know. Hold it 1 second. Just wait a second, because I can't see myself at all. Should I change the view? Wait a minute. Should I change the view?
You can try. If I lose.
There. How's that? I don't know. I couldn't see myself. I don't know what happened. So anyway, okay. So anyway, now you can see me better.
Now you're perfectly framed.
Now I'm good. I don't know. That never happened before.
So anyway, shalom to you. How you doing? How's the summer been going for you?
Good. I'm, busy with, actually today I have a show I'm doing at a senior home in Poughkeepsie, and I haven't done a show in a senior home in a long time. So it's kind of like exciting and nerve wracking a little bit, but I'll be okay.
Why is it, are you afraid somebody's going to die in the audience? Why is it nerve wracking?
No, I don't know. Cause I just haven't done one in a senior home in a long time. That's all. Cause I used to do them a lot years ago, and now I'm getting back into it. That's all. No, it'll be fun. I've done what?
Is it the Princess Wow show you're doing at the...
No, it's actually... Okay, so in my show, the show that I'm currently doing, the Princess Wow show, it's comedic storytelling about my crazy life and how I overcame depression and started a revolution about joy. And I play ukulele, original songs that I wrote, smile songs that I wrote with my husband, and then other musicians contribute. Anyway, and then at the end I do a hat happening. It's a show that I created with my hats years ago, because I used to be a stand-up comic, and I was a wardrobe stylist. So it's like I have like kind of an unusual career. I have all these. I'm a woman of many talents, so it's like I've had all these different lifetimes actually in my career. So anyway, so I created this show called Hat Having that's been in the New York Times, Good Day New York several times. I've had not a lot of press on it over the years.
Yeah, yeah.
And so I do it now as a finale. It's like an interactive performance where I put hats on people's heads and wigs and boas and dress them up. And it's just fun. It's just
Good.
pure. It's kind of like dress up for adults.
All right. This is
And it's really fun. So at the senior homes, like for years, I just did the Hat Happening, like for decades. Like I was just like doing that at senior homes and other venues. So now it's my new stage show. It's part of the show at the end. So
Now, I went
today
to,
I'm doing a Hat Happening, but I tell stories and play
yeah.
music and have them. It's improv with the audience. So
No, I went to a dress-up party for adults, and I thought it would be great. And then they put me in this. It was leather, and there was a zipper across, and they started doing things. I'm not going back to that. But
okay,
not ever doing that again.
that
But
doesn't sound like a Princess Well Hat Happening.
no, no, no,
Right,
no.
okay, okay,
They did call me princess a couple of times, and I screamed a lot. But anywho,
okay.
let me ask you. So when you talk about your wild and crazy life in this show, in the Princess Wow show, how
Uh-huh.
was your life, Michigan? How was it? I mean, you suffered depression, but what are some of the things that you touch on in your show?
Well, let's see. Well, I grew up in upper middle class family and very like it was like country clubs and trips to Europe and I spent 2 summers in Israel and I
Yes,
had my
yes. All
designer
right,
clothes.
stop, stop,
Israel,
stop,
right?
stop, stop.
Israel, stop.
Stop, because tell us, give us a little. What is your greatest memory or your worst memory of being in Israel?
Well, I spent 2 summers as a
Yeah,
teenager there.
yeah,
Okay. Well, I had a spiritual awakening there because I did because well, like I grew up Reformed Jewish, okay? And like I never everybody was like just speaking Hebrew at temple. And I didn't really feel close to God because I didn't really understand. I'm sorry to tell you this, but this is how I felt.
I forgive you. It's fine.
You
Yes.
forgive me? Okay. And I wasn't bar mitzvahs, I was confirmed. But the thing is that yeah, I was not bar mitzvahed.
No, but yeah, all right, fine. But you were
But
confirmed.
confirmed.
Were
Confirmed.
your parents habsy wabsy? Was one of your parents a?
They were really into, they weren't really religious.
Obviously. Yeah. All right. So fine.
Because I'm just telling you. Okay, so everything was more about, money and
And
wealth and fame and my family was famous in Baltimore. I'm from Baltimore, Maryland.
oh, we're in Baltimore County ourselves, right here, right now. This is where we're
Oh,
coming.
I didn't even know that. Oh, that is so
I'm usually in
oh
Great Neck.
God, I better be careful what
Oh
I
my
say.
God!
I better be careful what I say. I didn't know that. Oh,
What were
that
you
is great.
famous for in Baltimore? What was your family famous for in
Well,
Baltimore?
my father and uncle had a chain of furniture stores, Fradkin Brothers Furniture.
Oh,
Yeah.
which no longer the it's no longer.
No, no, it went out of business in the early 80s during the recession.
Uh,
But my grandfather had a department store in the 30s.
all right,
Yeah, so but anyway, I'm from
typical
Pikesville.
American
Where
grocery
wait,
store.
where
Yeah.
I'm from Pikesville and Owings Mills.
Oh, I know Owings Mills. Where I'm there. Well, Dave, the producer of this program, is in Owings Mills a couple of times a week, almost every week during the year. So
I had no idea that is so funny.
it
Okay.
is. It is. It's a small
It's a
world,
small
but as Stephen
world.
Wright would say, I wouldn't want to
Well,
paint it. Yes.
well, we have to say Ronald Rand is the one who introduced us. But I met you before. I met you years ago through somebody else.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, absolutely. Maybe you were at that party where they put me in the zipper mask, and you're just not admitting it.
I don't think so. I don't think
One
so.
second, admit.
No, I don't think so. No, but the thing is that somehow our paths did cross through somebody years ago because I remember talking to you and you asked me about Fradkin and everything.
Well, because Dave, the producer of the show, he went to elementary school with a guy named Benjamin Fradkin.
I know, right?
Whatever happened to him, and it's not that common a name, so I'm
But
wondering.
no, it's a rare name.
So
But see,
maybe a hustle.
my grandfather when he came over from Russia,
Yeah,
he didn't speak any English, and so there was somebody behind him, and I think he just came up with our name. I don't even know if it's really our name from Russia. That's what I'm saying. See, he just,
yeah.
yeah, it's one of
And for
those
all you
things.
know, you have a relative. We're 3 degrees of separation from each other because I know Dave, and Dave, knows Benji Fradkin, and you may be related to Princess.
Who knows? I don't know. It could
Maybe.
be a distant. Everybody, every time I meet somebody who has the name Fradkin, they think we're relatives
But here's
because
the
it is a rare. It's a rare name. Well, anyway.
But
So
anyway,
what?
there's
So
nothing unusual
Israel,
about
Israel. So
yeah.
I'm sitting. I'm in Elot. I'm in Elot
A
in
lot, yes.
what is it? The Red Sea or the Dead Sea? I get
They
those.
called both, yes.
They
It was
do. Oh, I don't know. I
interesting.
think they're two different things.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just like had this like spiritual awakening in the sea, and I don't know. I just kind of I don't know. I just felt close to God. I can't explain it other than that. But anyway, but I do have a funny story about on Gesher's Eve. I was at the kibbutz Gesher's Eve. I don't know if it's still there. We're talking the 70s,
Right,
early
right.
70s. Okay, so
The Arabs probably bombed it. So yes.
so there was bombing going. Okay, so I'm taking a nap, okay? And an Israeli soldier came to my door, and I only spoke a little Hebrew, right? So he was trying to get me to the bomb shelter, but I didn't know what he was saying, and he thought I knew Hebrew. So he didn't like drag me to the bomb shelter. I wouldn't even know where it was. So I'm taking a nap. My friends come back after the nap and they go, "Where were you?" I said, "What do you mean? I was taking a nap." They're like, "We were on the bomb shelter." I'm like, "Oh, I guess I slept through bombs, or I don't know what happened. Maybe there weren't any bombs, or I slept through bombs." I was a sound sleeper at that time.
Or maybe the night before you got bombed, and that's why you were able to sleep so well. It could be anything like that. So
So anyway, so that's like one of my funny stories from Israel. But I really loved it there, and it was like I was. Oh, we also did an archaeological dig in the old city of Jerusalem.
yeah,
It was like a 2,000-year-old church, and we dug. So I'd get up at 4 in the morning,
yeah.
and I'd have the biggest breakfast ever, and then we'd be digging till noon because you couldn't. It was so warm, so I mean, you could only dig till noon. Till noon. So I did that, and I really loved that. I thought, well, maybe I'll be an archaeologist, but that was just a passing thought. But I really enjoyed doing that actually. My friends, some of them didn't even go. They're like, "I'm sleeping in." I'm like, "No, I couldn't wait to get up at 4 in the morning."
Yeah, no, I don't blame.
No, it
Absolutely.
was it was
I'm also,
fascinating.
yeah. Now, have you been to Israel in the years since those two teenage trips?
No, I've only been to Europe. I was like did a teen tour in Europe, and then I was just everything was LA and New York City, just in the States after that. But I've been going back to London recently. Last year, I was like obsessed with London. So I'm like very I did my show actually I previewed my show in London last year. And I
Right.
have a lot of friends there they're all colorful like me, like artists in East London.
So let me ask, but again, okay, two summers in Jerusalem. You go to FIT. Doesn't sound like a particularly unusual. It sounds like a pretty fun life, actually. Where do you get the fodder for a one woman show that's like, check out my crazy life?
Well, you have to come to my show, but it's like, well, my life from the outside looked idyllic. I had my designer clothes and everything, but I was a hippie and I was like I had my hippie clothes and I would go thrift shopping, and my family were very controlling, and I have to watch what I say if you're from Baltimore, but um, my father had a lot of mental problems, and so he was like in and out of mental hospitals, and my grandmother killed herself. And like there's a lot of tragedy. You have to come to my show. I can't get into every detail, but
For
there's
the
a lot of
laughs,
huh?
for the laughs.
There's a lot of laughter in my show because I am make it into like fun, like because I'm all about fun and color and smiling. But there's tragedy inside my show, but yet I make it still. I can't say that. I can't say that and make people laugh when I talk about my grandmother, and my father. But at the same time,
Well,
it's
you
like my
also
life was so crazy. My life was really. I had a lot of problems growing up, and I really was I guess you have to come to my show, but at the same time I make it really fun, like because my life is really great, was really like it's hard to explain like in 5 minutes, but I
well, this is
go
why
into
you have
it.
to go see her show. You got to see
You
Prince.
gotta go see my show, but at the same time it's like the show in the city. I did it in the East Village of Pangea in April, and I had people laughing almost the whole time. It's just my delivery, and it's just me because like my friend Cynthia Adler, um she says she's from the Adler family, the acting
Oh
family, the
yeah.
Adler
Oh
family.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'll just quote what she says because like I don't see it because it's just me, but she said that Princess Wow is such an original. There's nobody like her. Everything, the hat she makes, the things she wears, the stories she tells, how she tells them, her hair, the way she pauses, where no one else will pause. It's all highly original, and there's nobody like her out there, and it's funny. So it's just like I don't see it because it's me, but like
Right.
this is like
Yeah.
you
All
know,
right.
yeah.
Nice.
It's just the way I tell my stories, I guess. My costumes, me. I'm just like off the cuff. I mean, I'm scripted, but I'm off the cuff most of the time.
Now,
I'm
is there you mentioned early in this talk, and also are there songs in there as you say you play
Yeah, yeah. I play ukulele.
was
Yeah,
been
there's like okay, there's some smile. See, I started the Smile Revolution project almost 20 years ago when my dad gave me his last smile. We had a very difficult relationship, my dad and I. He was a big
nuts.
businessman.
Yeah.
He was a big businessman, and I was like this crazy artist, like hippie, and it's like I don't know, we were just so different. Anyways, and I was very rebellious because my family was very controlling. And I get into like I was forced to have my nose done, and I'm a hippie. There's like all these, yeah,
You
I'm
are
telling you, there's like
going.
crazy
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah. All
But
right.
anyway, most people beg their parents to have their nose done. Now I was forced to have my nose done. Okay, like forced. I was told because my family were all drop dead gorgeous and everybody was super fashionable. And like my nose was cute. I was really cute as a child, but my nose got bigger when I got older
Did
and
you
like
have
my nose looked
breathing
like my
problems
dad's.
or septum things? Is that why they
No,
did
it
that?
was no, I was just supposed to look better, like more attractive. No, I'm serious. Okay,
All right.
so I'm okay. You got
All
the
right.
picture now?
Yeah.
Got the picture?
Getting it. Yeah.
Okay.
Uh,
You're
so,
getting it? Okay. Okay.
but the depression that no, let's get to though the songs and the
Oh
ukulele.
yeah, the songs. Okay, so
When
the
you say
Smile
was,
Revolution.
yeah,
What?
when you say husband, so you're
Yeah,
still
I'm
you
divorced.
still
Husband's divorced. Yeah, I married a Woodstock musician, and
right.
I wanted to marry musicians. That's another story in my show. Okay,
Well,
so
yeah, all right. Well, we're also here
okay,
to tell stories on this show. So, but he's
I'm
still
telling you a little bit.
is he
Okay,
accompanying you on? Is he
he
part of the?
was okay. He was. He's my husband now. But now, even as a husband, he was. But he was as a husband. So anyway, I married a Woodstock musician,
Yeah.
and then because I was, all right, I'll tell you the story. Okay, so I was friends with my childhood friend, married Clifford Carter, who played keyboards for James Taylor for 15 years and other famous people.
All
And
right.
I was hanging out with them. And the first minute I met him, he said, "Weren't you on Saturday? Didn't I see you on Saturday Night Live in the 70s?" That was like the first thing out of his mouth. So he like really got me. And I just said, "You know what? I think I need to marry a musician." He's so cool. So that's I was like, okay, now where do you meet a musician? You got to go to Woodstock, Mindy. So
Back in the day, yeah.
that's where the musicians are. So I moved to Woodstock, and so I met Roland. Anyway, so I got into the whole music. That's how I got into the rarefied music world. I did end up marrying him, Roland. I met him in Woodstock. Anyway, so that's another. So many stories, but anyway, that's a story.
All
And
right.
so anyway, so yeah, him and I, we wrote. I had a radio show for the Smile Revolution, in Kingston, and so I started promoting him, and he was close to Pete Seeger, the folk icon, and Richie Havens. Richie Havens recorded one of his songs with Tom Pacheco, the Indian Prayer.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, I love
Anyway,
that
so I
song.
got in,
That is
huh?
such a great. That is my favorite song on Mixed Bag Two. That is a beautiful song, The Indian
Oh
Prayer.
well, my husband wrote it. Yeah,
Yeah,
with Tom Pacheco.
with Tom
Seriously,
Pacheco, I know your husband co-wrote it with Tom Pacheco.
Roland Musa. Yeah, he wrote most of it. It was like Tom. Well, they were like best
Yeah.
friends, so they wrote it together. But yeah, it was Roland who. That's who I married.
Right. Tell your husband it's a great song. So
Okay,
anyway,
it really is. I know it was Pete Seeger's one of his favorite songs too, and Toshi. So anyway, yeah. So in the meantime, so we wrote some Smile songs together, which is in the show. And he used to play on stage with me. That's why I learned how to play ukulele during the pandemic, because Roland moved out to North Dakota in a reservation. He's native
wow.
Apache. Yeah. So anyway, he used to my other stage shows, the Ageless Wonder show, which you mentioned, which is my other stage show.
Yeah.
And I have a director, Jessica Lynn Johnson, who's amazing, and so she's helps me with this is directing my second show here. Anyway, she's a best national solo artist in the country. Anyway, so yeah, so we wrote some song. He used to play on stage, and then during the pandemic, I had to learn how to play ukulele because he moved out west. So anyway, but we're still friends and we still collaborate. We're recording some music in August when he comes here in Woodstock. So in the meantime, and I've got a song called Beige because I'm always well, I'm wearing actually gold today. I'm usually more colorful, but I'm wearing gold on stage this time because my pink dress I can't wear in the summer. I'll be wearing a different this costume actually.
Sure.
But anyway, so yeah, there's a song called Beige by John Cruth because I'm always in color and except this gold. Actually, I don't know if I could say that's colorful. I may have to add some more color. Anyway. Okay, so anyway, yeah, so Beige is a really funny song. And then I have a song, Smile with Me, that my friend Laura Molitor wrote. And I have, let's see, I think that is there another song? I don't know. I don't know. Right this minute I can't think, but there's
Well,
smile songs and the
Charlie
Beige.
Chaplin's Smile song. You could do that one. Smile though your heart
Oh,
is.
yeah, I know. I love that song. No, but I'm not doing that. Okay, well the thing is, there's another song. Oh, Yellow Shoes. I wear yellow shoes a lot. And my friend Stevie Kalinich and Dave Humphreys wrote Yellow Shoes, and it's a sing along. So I give everybody the sheet. It's a really
I'll
funny
be
song.
warned, audiences. There's a sing along. So
There's one sing along. Yeah.
all
Okay.
right.
So anyway, and then the hat happening. Everybody loves my hat happening. So it's just pure fun and joy, and people love trying on hats and I dress them up in wigs and boas and stuff. It's just really fun and joyful and in the moment kind of experience. So it's gotten really a lot of press over the years. Just something simple I created over the years. So yeah.
I do also want to ask you. You have a podcast, and you used to do a radio show. Do you have any amazing memories or funny stories or great interviews that you had from doing radio?
Oh, well, let's see. Well, when I did the radio show, I had Pete Seeger on, Arlo Guthrie, Richie Havens. It was all about talking about the smile, a smile. It was all
Smile.
about,
Yeah.
the joy and, that's been my
Are
project for
those
almost 20 years.
archived? Are those recorded somewhere?
Yeah, I have them recorded. I mean, they're all, yeah. Well, Arlo's God didn't get saved. My producer screwed up. Sorry. He didn't save my Arlo Guthrie one, but now I have them. I mean, I do have them on a CD. They're on CDs.
All
I
right,
do
they can
have
be
them.
transferred. I mean, why don't you put these things on the princesswow.com website so
No, you're
people?
right.
This is
Yeah, no,
historical stuff now. Pete Seeger, my gosh. I
I
mean,
know. And Richie Havens.
yeah.
No,
Yeah.
you're right. And I have Buffy St. Marie. I've got I have like a lot of local musicians, and then I have like organizations who are promoting joy. And Neil Donald Walsh. Yeah, you're right. I need to do that. Thank you.
So, now let me ask you though about the importance, quote unquote, of a smile that you saw your father's last, or you remembered the last smile your father gave you, despite your difficult relationship.
Well,
So
that was the healing we had. Like in the last few weeks. Okay, so what happened was my dad was really sick, and I was already planning on going down to Florida to visit him. And so the third day, I knew he was like close to passing on. I could tell. So anyway, the third day we rushed him to the emergency room, and I ended up canceling everything in New York, and I just stayed with him the next few weeks and prayed and was just by his side, right? And then we had all these healings. It was like he kept giving me all these blessings because I was there with him, those last few weeks. Anyway, and then when I got ready to leave, I was going back to New York to do my one woman show for independent film. I had happening and some other I was doing bar mitzvahs, like making hats with the kids at the time. And then he gave me this big smile, and he was like a week away from his passing. And it was the first time I felt no judgment, and it was just pure love. And it was had such a big impact on me. And then the blessings he gave me. And that's how this whole thing started. And so then I was like interviewed before my hat happening for this film. And out of my mouth came, we need a smile revolution in the world. And it was just like an inspired thought. And then the next week he had a heart attack and died. I had to go back to Florida. And then that year I almost didn't make it. It was like a lot of different things happened, not just his passing, but I'm not getting into that right now. But the thing is that I had some, anyway, so that year it was really hard. And then I was on the radio a lot in Woodstock, though. I was on the radio. I was able to like function somehow to get on the radio and be uplifting and stuff. And then the week of, let's see, December, it was like the end of 2005. It's like another thought came to me. It was like from God. That's how I felt. It was like, it's time to start the smile revolution. I'm like, okay, God, thanks for sharing. And then I was on the radio and I launched the idea on the show. And then my whole life changed for the better because I went from being very self-involved to how can I help the world smile more.
Well, how can you help? Oh, I guess doing your shows. But
Well, no. It's like everything, every day. Like, actually, it's taken me years because, like, I couldn't even smile because I grew up depressed most of the time, and I really couldn't smile very much for years. And even when I started this project, and even I'd sing on stage with Roland, and we'd be singing smile songs, people would say, "I love your songs, but you're not smiling." Like, it took me a
right.
long time to be able to really actualize my mission. And I can tell you now that I am now because, like, every day, everywhere I go, people come up to me and they say, "You just made my day." Like the way I dress, my colors, like my vibe. I guess it's just I'm very uplifting. And so every day I really make people smile. And then I have my podcast, I have an interview show on YouTube too. And and then my stage show, and then I don't know, everything. It seems like every day I'm uplifting people and making them smile. So I am doing it. It's a one woman revolution, but no, it's like it is contagious, and so I know that I am making an effect, and I did affect Pete Seeger too because I interviewed him, and he almost left the interview,
You know,
and
laughed or
he
left?
almost left. He almost left the interview. Now he was because he said, "I don't think I'm the right person for this interview." And he said, "I grew up, it was, be honest. Like, if you don't feel like smiling, don't smile." This is what he said to me. And, be honest. It's like that's how he grew up, about like, if you don't feel like smiling, don't smile. And then I was like, oh my God, he's walking out the door. And so then I told him how it started on my dad's deathbed, and then he understood, and then he said, "Well, maybe you learned something by learning how to smile." And then he stayed for the interview, and then he said that, there could be many revolutions, and he goes, I taught him that there can be peaceful revolutions. It doesn't have to always be about guns."
Right, well, yeah. Well, he knew that. I mean, he was
No, but
also.
he had a revelation with me. He did like, he told me, he said it really meant a lot when he found out how it started. Like, it was very meaningful to him when I told him about my dad.
It was still kind of dickish of him for wanting to walk out in the. Come make it to an interview. He's going to leave you hanging there. That's kind of a dick move. I'm sorry. I've got issues with Pete.
All right.
Great,
Well, he was.
great artist, but sometimes politically in other ways, not on my same page. Let's just say.
Oh, okay. Well, whatever. Anyway, he's made a big difference in so many people's lives, and a wonderful musician and everything.
Oh
But
yeah. Oh
nobody's perfect.
no.
It's okay. He didn't leave, and he was just like, I don't know. It's okay.
How was
It's just,
Arlo? How was your Arlo moment?
I don't remember exactly because it was like years ago. I mean, it was 2007, I think, and it was a long time ago. And my memory is kind of selective. I don't remember every detail about everything in my life because it's so jam packed with stuff. But I mean, he was great. I mean, it was just a radio interview, but it
Well,
was
yeah.
great. But I wish I had it. I mean, I just was so bummed that my producer, didn't record it.
So beyond the pizza, what is the most memorable interview? It doesn't have to be with someone famous. What is the most memorable interview you've done, either on your podcast or on back
Well,
on?
I just did an interview recently that I put more work into it than any interview, and it was like very meaningful because, well, it's a dear friend of mine, Doug Milford, who's actually one of my he's like my official photographer of Woodstock. He gets like the best photos of me because I don't know, I don't know, he's a friend, and he's like year for like 25 years I had an official photographer of New York City. I've always had photographers in my life. Well, my background's photography, and I've always been around photographers, and so and photographers think I'm a good subject. So anyway, and like my friend in the city, I go in tangents. I think you're maybe
I've
guessing.
noticed this. Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
that's what people say. My show is like I'm in you could call my show tangents. Okay, so anyway, for years, like, I could always tell my friend Philip, like, I need photos of my hats, or I need this and whatever, any photo, whatever. It's like he would always take pictures of me for like 25 years. And I had kind of, anyway. So Doug is like that. So Doug Milford had, him and Lisa McDonald had, art galleries in the East Village in the 80s and beyond.
Yeah.
And so anyway, and then my friend Jim C, he had an art gallery in the East Village in the 80s. And then, his girlfriend Nina did too. They had like Nina had a leading art gallery there. She was 22, and then Doug and Lisa were like 23 or 4. And I just did a panel of them, and everything is 80s now. A lot. I don't know if you know this, but there's a lot of like everybody's like into like the 80s, anything in the art and music world. It's kind of like a thing now. So anyway, I just interviewed them at a panel like a month ago, and I don't know, it's just fascinating to me to find out how they did all that, and they were in their early 20s, and it was just
Yeah, to run a
they
yeah.
were really interesting, and they became success, did well, and they continued galleries and promoting artists and selling their artwork, their and
Now
other people.
I'm wondering, at FIT, did you study photography? Was that going to be your direction?
No, I was in high school. Actually, photography is one of the things that saved my life. Is like I was really into photography in high school. I was very miserable growing up with my family. It was just a lot of a lot of stuff that was
Because you're
going on.
Jewish. Yes, yes.
Anyway, so anyway, but I was always, taking pictures, and I was into music, and so I get into like all these things save my life. But anyway, and then my spiritual quest. But anyway, so what was I saying? Okay, so
But at some point I got the assumption that FIT. You mentioned
oh,
you
yeah,
were
FIT.
photography
Oh,
was
so right. So okay, so I was into photography in high school, which saved my life. And then I went to Ohio University in the photography department, and then I ended up in Oregon, the University of Oregon, on photography workshops.
Oh, all right, yeah.
So now I was into photography, and then I went to Art Center College of Design. I didn't like it in LA. It's a long story. You got to come to my show. It's like I have all these different. You see, you can get the picture. Are you getting it? Okay. So there's just like all these different things that were going on. So it's like it's an unusual life. So yeah, so I was into photography for a long time, and then I ended up being a wardrobe stylist and combining my love for fashion and photography in New York when I moved to New York
So
in
were you part
83. I moved to New York in 83.
were you part of the fashion district or Broadway? I mean, when you say you were wardrobe stylist,
Wardrobe stylist. It was for
uh,
for advertising mostly, and I did catalogs, and I did a film. I did work on a film,
what
a
film?
costume. Well, it was called Street Law, and then they changed it. Wait, see, what was it? It was the working title was Street Law, but then they changed it to now I can't remember the name of what they changed it to. But anyway, Caesar Romero was in it, Doris
Cesar
Roberts.
Romero. Yeah, who else? Who?
No, he was my buddy. Like, actually, I asked him, I said, "Do you like?" I was having lunch with him, and he goes, I said, "Do you like being famous?" And he goes, "Yes." Because like I was always like, okay, people are like, oh, whatever, talking about me being famous or whatever. One day, I was like, "Well, did you like?" He goes, "Yeah." He goes, "Because everyone's really friendly." That was his response. Well, it's different in this day and age with social media, but that was like decades. That
Yeah.
was in the early 90s. I met him, It was like at the end of his career. He was like, it was in the
Well,
early
even so, Caesar Romero, for gosh sake.
Caesar Romero, Doris Roberts, and then there was another John. He was he passed on. John. Wait, he was in
Yeah.
wait, I gotta think of his last. Sometimes I forget his last name.
Well, can
There's
you put it
another.
on
He
IMDb?
became famous. He became famous in a TV show. I can't think right now. Never
Not
mind.
John Goodman, but all right. But did you design the men and women's costume? What did you do? Like, did you?
Well, it wasn't designing. It was really just shopping.
Oh,
It was a low budget film, like 2 million. I really didn't have a lot of money, so it was like it's basically just shopping.
all right. Yeah,
And I had a staff of people. It was like it was challenging because I'd never done a movie before, but whatever. Okay. So anyway, but what happened really was that one of the I was making them laugh. I always made people laugh my whole life. So it was like, are they laughing at me or with me? I'm not sure. So because
I'm
I
not
was pretty
sure either. I'm
clueless.
still trying to figure that one out. But yes, yes, yes.
Okay, so the point is that yeah, so one of the actor friends of mine, he kept telling me every day, you need to be in front of the camera, not behind the camera. You could be the next comedy sensation. I was making them laugh every day. No, but I always make people laugh.
Yeah, yeah.
So but I never thought of myself as a performer. And then he kept telling me every day, you need to be in front of the camera. So it's like after that summer in Pittsburgh, I took a comedy class. And what came out of that was that I'm just naturally funny. I'm not like I don't tell jokes. It's just I'm very quirky and it's like I don't know, I just have this way that just I just have a unique sense, I guess, of the world and the way I speak. And I don't know. I just make people laugh. I don't try to though. But that's what came out of the comedy class. And then I started doing stand-up comedy.
How was
in New
that?
York.
Did you appear at all the usual venues in New York and California when you were doing?
No, I didn't go that far. I just did like 2 years, and I had a lot of stage fright. I had a director helping me, and I did it, but I was just, I was doing the comedy clubs in New York, but not like the top ones. I didn't get to that. If I'd stayed in it, but I only did it 2 years, and I got back. I got into hats. Went to FIT at night and styling. So
Oh, man. Yeah,
I
yeah.
ended up. That's how I created the hat happening because I was a stand-up comic. I missed performing, and I was making hats. So that's how I created my show.
Now, can I ask, is the show kind of semi-frozen? Because you do go off obviously on tangents, or is the show? You know exactly what you're doing, and you don't change the stories. It's kind of set.
It's kind of both. It's like I have my stories. I may have them out of order because I go in tangents, but no, it's a script. It's scripted, but like I'm very improvisational. I mean, I'm like I stuff just comes out of my mouth, but I basically have my stories set. But they may be out of order, but I don't know. It's just kind of both. It's a combo.
Sure. Are you still designing things for? Because you have the podcast, you have the show. Do
I
you?
don't yeah, that's a good question. Yeah, so in terms I used to do hats full time. I sold to top stores. I've done custom hats for years. I've been making hats since like 1990. However, at this point, because I'm like doing a stage show, I have a podcast, and you know how much work that is. The hats are kind of like more my props, but I do custom work. Like if somebody wants a hat, of course I can do it. I'll do it. Of course, I love making hats, but I don't do it as often. It's not as much as like how it used to be. I don't have time to do everything.
Let me. Have you ever, if you can say, have you ever designed a hat specifically for somebody famous, like a celebrity, a muckety muck? You know.
Well, I have okay, Hillary Swank. I met her when I did a lot of open personal appearances at Henry Bendel's when it was open years in the 90s. I did it more in the 90s. Um, so no, I met Hillary Swank years ago, and she like loved my hats. I did actually send her a hat. I don't know if she ever wore it, but she gave me her publicist's name, and I did make her a hat. And then Elizabeth Ashley bought like a hat or two of mine at a store. Now,
Hmm?
these are people like depending on your generation, well, Hillary Swank, most people should know who that is, actress.
They just inducted Elizabeth Ashley into the Theater Hall of Fame. I don't know if you knew this.
No. Okay, great. Well, no, she has I think she bought one or two of my hats at a store in Soho. I think if boutique. I think it was years ago. I think I'm not sure exactly, but somebody or maybe Bendel's. She may have ordered. She may have gone at Bendel's. And then who else? I don't know. Let's see, those two. I don't know. There might be somebody else. There might be somebody else. I don't know. I don't know.
Well,
Musician,
let me.
Richard Barone. My friend Richard Barone, who's like
Oh,
somewhat
the
famous.
musician Richard. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, Richard's one of my dear friends. And he has two of my hats. He's
Cool.
a celebrity of sorts. He's not like I wouldn't say he's like world famous, but he's Donovan's guitarist, and he's out there, and he's one of my dear friends. So he's a very he's pretty well known. He's pretty well known.
All
They're
right.
all levels of fame.
So here's a question for you. I got to wear the yarmulke because But if you were to design, if I'm not saying you, if you were to design a hat for me, for Rabbi Sol Solomon, what would it be? Like if you could envision this head in hat wear, what would come
Well,
from?
my hats are all pieces of art, though. I mean, they're so unusual. I
Yeah.
mean, I can make like a simple fedora. You say, I mean, I can do this
Oh, then I
too.
would look normal though. Yeah, I thought you would see me in some kind of ridiculous, the Doctor.
Like, well, I don't know. I mean, I don't know if like a rabbi would wear something unusual.
Right, yeah, right. Or
I don't see that because that's not what you all do. You're more like traditional as a
oh,
rabbi. I
that's
can't, but I
custom.
do hand paint. I hand paint on hats. So actually, I could like make a hat, like take a hat of yours and paint, like hand paint it.
There you go. Or most people have told me the best way for me to wear a hat is like this. That this really shows me off to my absolute best advantage right here.
Okay, good.
Or you could
Okay.
just do a regular hat and paint my forehead. And this is all these different things. But we want to
Okay.
remind people that if you want to see Mindy Fradkin doing her show Princess Wow in Woodstock, how a hat designer started a revolution.
Hat designer started a revolution. Yes, it's in Phoenicia. 60 Main Street in Phoenicia. And I did just send you the link. There is a link on Eventbrite that you can reserve and do a donation. It's by donation.
Very nice. Now, how do you pick? Does Amtrak go there or the Metro North? How do you get to Phoenicia if you're not driving? What do you do? Do you know where the
Oh, I think
trains
you
are
need
leaving?
I don't, there's bus. I think there's a bus. There's buses. I
Because
think
it's
there's
not that
buses.
far from New York. It's not that far. It's not.
Well, it's like 20 minutes from Woodstock. So I know that there's a bus to Woodstock. I'm not sure there's gotta be. I think there's a bus to Phoenicia. There might be. We would have to somebody would have to look that up if they're in the city.
Now, my other question for you though is that you've done this show at Pangea, which is a club in New York. Are you coming back?
East Village. Yeah, I'm coming back in November, but
Oh,
I'm negotiating right now. Like I have a date for November 1st, but it may move to the first week. I'm in the middle of negotiating with him about right now it's November 1st. It may move to the first week. I'm not sure. So I'm in the middle of talking to him right now about exact date. But it's definitely going to be either November 1st or the first week of November.
so if people want to find out when, so maybe they don't want to go to Phoenicia, but they want to see you, maybe they can wait until November and see you at Pangea. They can find the absolute information at princesswow.com. Princess WOW, right?
Yeah, .com. And then I'm also on Instagram. It's the.real.princess.wow. I have all these dots, but it's the real princess wow dot. And then I'm on TikTok. I'm getting really heavily into TikTok under it's the Smile Revolution on TikTok.
That's fine. So you do like 45-second things, or you do like showing off a hat, or what do you do on TikTok?
I tell stories. I talk about what I'm doing. I don't know. People seem to like me a lot on TikTok. I do these little things with my dolls. You know, I have these dolls in my likeness.
Oh, I did not know. All right, look at
Oh, you
that.
didn't know about this? And the dolls are part of my show. I have 3 dolls in my likeness. I'm telling you. Yeah. So I have these dolls. This is me from a photo of me, and there's my smile bag. Isn't
Oh,
she cute? This
very.
is Mrs. Me with a pink wig. Now I have many wigs, but now that my hair is so long, I have to wear
No,
like
wait, wait. What you're wearing now is your actual hair,
it's my real hair.
even with the that's not an extension. That's a real hair thing. Wow. Why would you
Yeah, I
wear
talk
wigs?
about it on stage. Everybody is always like, can't believe my hair. This is my hair.
All right, this is
I
for.
have enough hair for 5 people, I was told.
Oh, please, you should see my pubes. I'm telling you, I've got. You're gonna want to know. But wow,
Okay, so I got pink hair. I've got pink and this is my real color. I let it go out.
yeah,
Gray, my real 3 color of gray,
you have great hair.
silver,
I don't
and
know
then
why
I've
you
got
want to wear wigs.
pink down here.
Yeah.
But I might add some purple up right up here for the next show. You never know what I'm gonna look like.
Well, you
You
can
never
go
know.
on TikTok to see Princess
It's
Wow.
on the Smile Revolution on TikTok for yeah.
And by the way, on Facebook, this is where you do. Don't you do your pop? Wait, how do people get?
I do my podcast, my interviews on Facebook, Princess Wow Network on Facebook, and then
Right.
I'm also on YouTube. But if you do Princess Well Network, you have to do that squiggly thing, that little thing, Princess Well Network, that little
Like a
squiggly
squiggly
thing.
at sign, whatever.
Yeah, that thing.
Put everything on princesswow.com and just have people be able to click because this is. I'm on this here and this and it's all different. It's like just
I know. It is like
princesswow.com.
crazy. I'm like all over the place. I know, but it's like fun. We're just having fun.
Exactly. Well,
And
we
we're
will
just
have.
bringing more joy and fun to the world. That's what we're really that's what you're about. That's what I'm doing,
Well,
right?
I
I
bring it.
don't know. What are you doing? I'm not sure exactly. But anyway, I know you're all about fun and joy and everything and make
Well,
people
fun
laugh.
and joy, except when I get political, and it's like
You
great.
get political. Oh, I see. I stay out of it.
Right? Yeah.
I
Good.
stay out of that. I'm all about let's just have fun and joy. There's enough people talk about politics. I do not go there. In my interviews, nothing.
Oh,
Zero.
you know what? I go there, but
But that's me.
no.
I just like there's enough people doing that. I don't need to go there. I just want to stay out of that
In
for
my,
me.
I don't talk about hats. I don't know anything about hats, so I don't talk about them. I was just like,
Yeah, exactly. Right.
people
So
bring up hats.
anyway,
I'm like, I don't know. No, not even Yama because I don't go there.
okay,
Where
okay.
am I? Don't talk. I don't go there.
All right. So I want to thank Ronald Rand again
Yes,
for introducing us.
he's a wonderful
As
gentleman.
he's such a
Yeah,
wonderful person and he's so talented. He's so great. He's a big fan of mine and I'm a big fan of his. And
I
so
don't
he's
blame you.
great.
And for those of you who don't know Ronald Reagan, he's been on the show a couple of times, and he's multi-talented. He writes books about acting, and he acts himself, and he's a Not we're gonna go road. Not
He
a road.
tours all over the world with his solo show, and he
Right.
teaches acting. Yeah.
Great fella. And you are a great lady to know also. Mindy Fradkin. Everybody, let's give a big wow to Princess Wow, who's with us. Shalom to you, and thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Dave, for having me. I really appreciate
I'm
it.
not Dave, I'm Sal. See, this is what makes
Oh,
me.
that's right. I'm sorry. That's right. Are you Dave or Sal? Sorry, you're Rabbi Sol.
I'm Rabbi Sol Solomon. There you go. Now you bring out the rage, but we still
Okay,
love
I'm
you.
sorry.
Mindy Fradkin, Princess Wow, and shalom to you.
Shalom to you.
Smile. Big smile
Bye.
from both of us. Bye-bye now.
Okay. Bye.